His parents want me to raise his twin boys from an affair with a 20-year-old who died in a car crash. Hello, everybody. Since 2020, my 45F husband, 49M, of 23 years, is having an affair with a 20-year-old girl. In March, his affair partner had twin boys, which I discovered. Our divorce was inevitable. It's been a long procedure due to common properties and the requirement for an accountant since he utilized the shared account for his affair. After a vehicle catastrophe killed my husband and his cheating partner, things seemed to be ending. Amazingly, the twin babies survived the crash. Now orphaned, neither set of grandparents can adopt them. My husband has no siblings and his aunt won't take his parents from assisted living. Her entire life has been childless. Woman sighed. The circumstances are unclear, but her parents cannot remain involved long-term, and her sister lives abroad, since we were married. And he hadn't amended his will. I and our 2 children get all his possessions. I wouldn't leave those babies without anything, so I gave their legal guardian the shared account balance. About 25,000 saves. People won't take them in. My in-laws want me to raise them. I don't want to. At all. I wouldn't adore them or be their cruel stepmother. But a significant part of me will always resent them. I'll likely favor my kids. Not their fault. Before learning about the affair, I adored my husband and felt we were happy. My daughters are 14 and 16. Despite our differences, we never insulted each other. After I discovered the affair, he called me names and blamed me for his infidelity. He was abusive and wanted to kick me out. For reference, my childhood home is not shared. Now I'm raising teens alone. No longer have energy to raise kids. My girls despise their younger brothers. I attempted to convince kids to spend time with their dad during our divorce, but they refused. Since the babies revealed this, there was no way to sugarcoat it. Additionally, they are too old to get away with it. Most of my friends don't think I should raise those kids, but my in-laws, the affair woman's parents, and my mother do. Although my mom is only having grandkids fever, it hurts to not have her support. I must decide by next week or the boys will go to foster care. Their maternal grandparents are temporarily caring for them. My heart aches, but I know I can't take them. What if I don't take them? Hi everyone, this went much beyond my expectations, and I appreciate the well wishes for my kids, boys, and myself. Also for the number of kind people volunteering to look for a decent home. For the twins. I may not be their mother, but it touches me and makes me glad there are nice people. After consulting my lawyer, reading responses, researching, etc., I'll tell the grandparents tomorrow that I won't guard the boys. I'll tell them the usernames of people offering private adoptions or fostering, but my daughters come first. The twins' grandparents must decide whether to adopt, keep, or turn them over to the state. I wish I had the mental capacity to do this, but my 2 children are going through a lot and require my whole attention. I'll also consult lawyers to determine the son's inheritance rights. If so, I'll segregate it and let the lawyers figure out how to provide them access when it's best. If not, I'll find a method to give them the 25,000 I promised from the start. I won't proceed. My ethics may be skewed. I don't think I'm ethically or legally required to perform more than laws say. Can't help everyone, shouldn't have to. 2 of my daughters lost their father, need therapy, and are set to start college. They've had enough of their mother favoring their father's mistress's kids. Update 1. Hello everybody. I spoke to the twins' grandparents yesterday, as I indicated 2 nights ago. I explained my viewpoint, and declined to guard the guys. My mother-in-law almost slapped me when I said it, but my father-in-law stopped her in public. My maternal grandparents begged me to raise them to avoid losing them. I kept saying no, and when called selfish, I snapped. I confronted them that only they and their son and daughter were selfish in this issue. Their son, my husband, for infidelity and ruining my divorce with my girls. Their daughter was a whore who pursued a married man twice her age. If I heard from them again, I would ask them to stop. I also told my parents-in-law they won't visit my daughters for a while. I'll explain why later. I left a restaurant before eating. I also emailed my lawyer to inform CPS and other agencies monitoring the twins that I won't be their guardian. I then emailed my in-laws all the identities and websites of folks here and on Reddit who offered to interview for the twins' adoption. As nice as it is, I can't help you if you're interested in the lads. My involvement ended yesterday. Before visiting the grandparents, I asked my daughters why my in-laws won't see them. My youngest refused to talk to me, which was unusual for her. My oldest requested we speak alone. She explained that my in-laws had been telling the daughters to prepare for public school and obtain jobs right out of high school, as I will have to pay for these twins. Private education and college. Move their items to share a room, they were told. My girls have separate rooms since the twins need more space. This was new to me, because that would never happen. The girls are bullied by my in-laws because the babies come first. That's not happening. I told the girls that their grandparents had no influence in where they go to school, college finances, or our house's rooms. I agree that kids could utilize a part-time job and a scholarship, but their tuition will be paid. I warned them not to blame babies for adult ignorance. They said they understand, but they don't want to see their brothers yet. However, that gives me hope they'll survive. For now, we'll make house adjustments. My daughters and I dislike that my husband's workplace is still there. It will become our gaming room. I wanted to put some shots of my hubby in albums for the girls. We just want to personalize the place. My daughters found the affair and told me when my husband took them to meet the twins at the hospital, which is why they didn't want anything to do with him. He asked them to keep it quiet. But my girls told me. After that, my spouse mistreated them too. He ended all girl relations. No big update because certain individuals keep pestering me via PMS. Monday, I saw a lawyer. Without a DNA test, the sons have no inheritance claim. After that, they exclusively sue my in-laws. The shared account is mine because my husband doesn't own it. Lake House too. His parents received his savings account and life insurance, so the lads could only claim that. This can be amended if it goes to trial, but the lawyer warned me a court is unlikely to demand my daughters and my assets given how little my husband left us. The lawyer also advised me to stop giving the lads money. That might be used against me to imply I'm their guardian and taking fiscal responsibility. I'm splitting the shared account for my daughter's college tuition. Whether I sell the lake house is up in the air, but neither the girls nor I are attached to it. Leave me alone concerning the lads' inheritance. Unfortunately, my spouse ruined everything for his kids. I'm not accountable for them or have to give up my assets to help them. Good and irritating news in Update 2. Good news: CPS rescued the boys from their maternal grandparents and placed them in foster care until a permanent arrangement is arranged. Their grandparents and my mother screamed at me at work when I found out. In all honesty, I'm grateful this happened at work and not home. I'm considering moving because I don't want my girls to see this. Getting a call regarding my fostering and adoption requests soon after was annoying. According to CPS, I was interested in fostering and adopting the twins. I instantly recounted the grandparents me issue, and the operator was speechless. She apologized and promised to make the process painless. I was served this morning. The in-laws are seeking for grandparents' rights. Their custody claim is also filed. They want custody of my daughters and plan to leave assisted living, which they shouldn't, to buy a place that permits kids to get the twins back, to protect myself and my girls from custody fight hazards. My lawyer quickly gave me instructions I won't share. My lawyer and I think my in-laws want the girls to parentify them as twin caregivers because they're disabled. A frigid day in hell will precede that. I don't think CPS placed the boys with them. Not all is bad. My oldest daughter is talking about colleges again, as I start therapy next week. We haven't talked about their father or visited his grave, and I'm trying to get used to not calling him my husband anymore. My only involvement in the funeral was paying bills, and I believe his parents wrote the epitaph. It says cherished husband, father, and son. A joke. I know it's wrong to cling on to bitterness and resentment, but I'll replace his tombstone to remove husband and father when I have time. It may seem selfish, but I won't praise a cheater and abuser just because he's dead. My girls and I deserved better, and I paid for everything after replacing the tombstone. Complain where you know. I probably won't update until the grandparents' right litigation is resolved. Others who have helped me and my daughters do too. Many thanks. I'm returning to my previous Reddit account for now, hoping for good news. Additional info can temporarily house twins, or until a relative intervenes. I refuse them even temporarily. I'm 45. Quite exhausted. Full-time worker. I'm too busy for babies, no babysitter anymore. My daughters can stay home after school till I get home. I can't do that with babies or ask them to watch them. They like after-school groups and socializing. I can't take their infants, can't even pick them up. They're innocent, but I can't. If reversed, my daughters would go to my cousin. That was always our backup plan if my husband and I perished. Sorry, twins don't have that. However, as I read more, I realize I can't take those infants. Pushing her daughters to bond with their half-brothers. I tried. But they're teens who know cheating. Unless they want to, I won't compel them to interact with the newborns. Daughters of receive affair and aftermath therapy. My girls have a therapist, so this was mentioned. The girls hate infants. I know it's not the baby's fault. The girls are angry and blaming. I don't want them stressed. On her husband's will inheritance for the family. Anything for twin boys? My name was on the properties and will. The lake house for sale is the sole common property. I will gladly share a disputed will. Right now I don't have to give. No, not 50/50. He cheated and our prenup gave me most of his assets after the divorce. That's half his stuff. My family house was mine before marriage. Per his will, The cars will be sold for my daughter's college. His assets were $25,000 and half the lake house. His will left his bank amount to his parents. Will leaves no assets for them. They would only get the $25,000 I offered and could contest part ownership of a lake house. Sorry, I'll stop there. I had the larger income in my marriage and most of the assets in the divorce. My girls are going to college. I grieve for them, but my children lives won't suffer. Your assumption that my daughters must love them immediately is audacious. They're in therapy and can choose to be with their half-brothers. I won't push. I hope kids learn not to hate them and see them as innocent, but they won't be compelled to consider them as family. My divorce lawyer and will lawyer are giving me tight directions. I won't break the law as recommended by counsel. Also irrelevant if I deserved a loyal husband. My daughters deserved better dads. The twins will receive just legal rights. October 17, 2024, Update 3. I have nothing to report until now, but several folks have asked. First, cousins from my ex-husband's side grabbed the boys. I know them, they're beautiful, and they'll raise the twins well. The new parents. Call Matt and Kim, tell my daughters to call if they want to chat to their half-brothers. They can perceive them as distant cousins otherwise. My girls thanked them but said they don't want siblings now but could be acceptable as cousins. I offered them the shared account money since they're relatives, but they replied they don't need it. Kim even had me use that money on a vacation for my girls, and I looked dead. They also had severe rules regarding my in-laws and my ex's affair partner's parents. They can visit the boys but not be grandparents. It seems the AP's parents fought over this. Matt and Kim stopped them. Again, grandparents' rights. Lawsuits were threatened but failed, so I knew why the AP's parents couldn't keep the boys. The father is a felon for abuse. I won't say more out of respect, but if Matt and Kim are right, I'm delighted the boys won't be like that dad. The only reason his wife got interim guardianship was the parents' untimely death and the search for a relative to nurture the youngsters. She didn't want to live apart from her spouse for permanent custody. Great uncles were my ex-in-law's solution after intimidation. Failed. Probably good for them. After leaving assisted living and finding no opening, they wished to live with me and the girls. They got in because my ex and I volunteered to pay 5 years in full. This place has a large wait list. I would pay for their remaining 2 years. I'd rather barbecue than spend money on them after what they did to my girls and me. I know they want my girls and me to care for them. Not even considering it. My girls have different paths, and I wish to meet someone new. I've been moving on since discovering the affair, but it may seem too quickly. I don't think my ex deserves my grief. I mourned our friendship. Interestingly, my oldest daughter mentioned that. She's urging me to meet someone. We still have my ex-in-law's custody dispute and other concerns that I will post when I know more, but I wanted to let everyone know the boys are safe and together. Op said, Commenter 1. You and your daughters sound well adjusted. I'm delighted the boys are secure and can still get along with their half-sisters. I am thrilled for everyone. This event exceeded my expectations. For those coming soon, DUP, if they can afford a new place they'll be fine. They may be horrible, but if they were homeless, I would pay for a decent shelter. What they do now is up to them. Why did your ex-in-laws leave their prepaid lodging? Did you receive 2 years unused rent? That's costly. Oh no, they signed okay on the money because they needed to finish their custody plan quickly. The breach was committed by my in-laws, therefore I'm talking to a lawyer to recover the money, but it's unlikely. About $180,000. Yes, I agree, my ex-Phil is blind and knee pain. He scarcely moves. My ex-Mill has back problems. Both of them are also diabetic and have other conditions that in all honesty makes it hard for them to live alone. Wherever they go, a caretaker is an essential. It's why my ex and I looked for a good facility. I would feel obligated if they hadn't received my ex's savings and life insurance. He gave them lots of money, enough to live comfortably if they don't waste it. It's their fault if they waste it. Again, if they started without means.